All right, you guys, I'm here with Dwight from ProCut, and he's going to do a demo of this brake lathe he has here. So check it out.
What we're going to do is we're actually going to resurface the disc, and we resurface brake discs in place. We don't take them off, we do them right on the hub. So what we're going to do is we're going to mount our machine and resurface this. And the reason isn't so we can avoid having to take it off. The reason is actually so that we can match this disc to that imperfect hub that it's living on. So I have my machine, I'm going to remove the wheel and tire, I'm going to attach the ProCut adapter, and I'm going to thread onto it, okay? I'm going to thread onto it in machine. What's important here is that everything here is as square as I can make it, except for this piece right here. This is a movable nose that's going to move around, and the reason I make this one so it can move is because I don't trust these vehicle components to be perfect, right?
They have some wear on them.
Yep. So every time I hook it up, actually I trust those vehicle components to not be perfect. They're never perfect. They've always got a little bit of water. So every time I hook this machine up, I turn it on. It hooks up real easy. I hook it up, thread it on. And if I trusted the vehicle to be perfect, then I just have everything square here, I make the cut, but I don't trust the vehicle. Instead, what I do is I turn it on so it's spinning, and then I hit the adjust button. I hit the adjust button, and when I do, you'll hear some clicking. The clicking you hear is it's changing the angle relative to that hub until motion in the machine, until lateral motion is less than 1/1000th of an inch. What it's telling here, it's done. It's giving us the green light. It's telling us that now we have less than 6/10,000ths of an inch of motion in this machine. So now when I go ahead and resurface it, which just takes 2 or 3 minutes, then when I'm done, I can put a dial gauge on here, and what it's going to read is 6/10,000ths of an inch, okay? 3/1000ths of an inch is a human hair's width. We're going to leave less than 1/1000th of an inch every time. So 1/3 of a human hair, we're splitting hairs, okay? And the reason we're doing it is there's specifications now for disc assemblies on cars, and the specifications are always 2 or 3/1000ths of an inch. So we bring it down below 1/1000th every time. Put it on the car every time. So
It's good as new when you're done.
it's better than new. If you put a new one on there, it's likely to have a hair's width of motion. And it'll stop brake today, but then the brake problems come back. By truing it up to the hub that it turns on, you're going to get smooth brakes that'll last for the life of the friction materials.
Gotcha.
And so that's what we're doing. We're not avoiding taking it off to save time, although it is lightning fast and it'll save you some time. But the reason we're doing it is to true it up to that hub that it's going to be turned on.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You able to run it on this?
Oh yeah, we can go ahead and cut it if you want.
Yeah.
All I do is I'm gonna loosen it and advance it down into place here. I advance it by hand. So I'll advance it in. I can bring it in. I need to bring in the arms so that I make a light scratch for my reference. I'm going to bring it into the center of the disc here. Careful not to strike the center of that spinning hub. And now I'll set my depth. I'll just remove about 2 or maybe 3/1000ths of an inch. I'll take 3/1000ths of an inch off each side. Tighten down my top knob. And then the same handle that I've been using to manual advance it, I set that and it cuts. So now you've really seen the entire setup time for the ProCut. Setup time is to connect, to compensate, that click, 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 and now it's the cut. And this cut is going to go for about 3 minutes. Put on my chip deflector, that'll send all the chips down there into the swarf tray.
Just keeps them from flying around.
Yep, exactly. Flying around where we're going to be breathing them, where they're going to be getting caught up in the magnetic sensors, whatever the case may be. But you can see, even right now, we've already cut out a little of the way, and now it'll advance across that and give a smooth cut just in one pass. We do one pass every time. So in the old days with brake lathes, they'd do a rough cut and a finish cut. We're just doing one pass. Yep. You get a beautiful finish in just one pass. This process again, it's just 2 or 3 minutes for this to go across and cut. During this process, I'm standing here talking, but if I was fixing this car, I wouldn't be standing here because it's working. I don't need to be working on this. I can be somewhere else.
Pull another wheel
Doing
off.
another job, pulling the other one off, going and getting the parts that I'm going to need to complete the job, working on some other task. maybe my whole process over here takes 6 or 8 minutes, but during half of that time, I'm off doing somewhere else. So it doesn't add 10 or 12 minutes to a two-wheel brake job. It adds 5 or 10 minutes to a two-wheel brake job.
Right.
It's adding a ton of value. You're resurfacing and you're matching that disc with the rubber.
Right. And like you were telling me earlier, if it's a rotor that's not easy to take off, you know, like I have an F250 diesel, it's not fun to pull those apart.
Yeah, on your 3/4 tons, on anything that's doing your wheels, you start to save not just a few minutes, but a few hours.
Yeah.
And this same machine will actually, we change the wheel adapter. We can do this Freightliner right over here.
Oh, you could do something that big.
Well, he could do a Class 8 Freightliner with this same machine.
Gotcha.
Yep. You don't want to do them all day long. If you could do them all day long, you get into the truck lathe that's purpose built. You know, that's purpose built for just doing those giant discs.
Gotcha.
But even our standard on the car brake,
everything you need to know about
you could cut one of those if you needed to do it in a pinch.
Gotcha. Now, what does this machine right here run?
You know, these machines start at about $10,000, and we make machines right up to $20,000, so there's a whole range for them. This one, for example, has this tablet. We've got a scanner here. We could scan the VIN number off the doorpost, and then it has the minimum specifications for that vehicle right here. It'll beep at us if we try to cut it too thin, and it keeps a record of what we did on that vehicle on that day. So if you want those kind of bells and whistles, we're getting up towards the $20,000 range.
Okay.
But as far as the machine that'll just do the job, do a quick one pass, give you that hair's width of lateral run out, that perfect in-spec brake job, those machines start at $10,000.
Gotcha. Looks like it's almost done.
Yep, it's just about done. Of course, even for our demonstration, we used a particularly wide one there, so it takes quite a little while. But right now, it's clearing the edge of that to be completely done, and we're ready to go.
Awesome.
And resurfacing a smooth surface is part of what we're doing. Even more important, really, is the way we've matched it and the way we're going to have less than 1,000, less than a hair's width of lateral run out in the face when we're done.
Gotcha. Now let me ask you this: do a lot of, I don't know, I've been out of the mechanical world for a long time. Do a lot of OEMs approve of using cutting rotors, or do they want them thrown away?
You know, the OEMs, especially in the United States, nearly every OEM is either recommending or requiring this particular piece of equipment. So Honda, Toyota, Nissan, Kia, GM, Chrysler, Ford, every one of them were in their equipment programs either as recommended or even required. And the reason is they don't actually care whether the service guys replace the rotor or not. What they care about is that assembled lateral run out, because they know that brake problems will keep coming back. And they don't want people saying, oh, this car has shaky brakes sometimes, so I'm going to buy some other brand of car. That's why they're requiring this. Again, not because they really care how they fix it, they care about the result. And they have that specification. They know that in order to hit that fraction of a hair's width specification for movement on that assembly, the on-car brake lathe is just by far the most expedient way to do that. It's the only way you guys are going to.
Gotcha. Awesome. I like it. I appreciate the demo. Thank you.
All right. Well, hey, good to meet you.
Yeah.